Martin Bashir spun a web of elaborate lies to win the trust of the princess.
Welcome to WatchMojo UK, and today we're looking at the most shocking and salacious TV events from the 1990s.
It's making a terrible noise. I don't know what's going on. Can you hear this?
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Number 10. The Maxwells. Have I got news for you?
This is the sad news that there's £526 million missing from the Mirror Pension Fund. There's one suspect.
Like any project involving Ian Hislop, Have I Got News for You has received more than its fair share of legal trouble over the years. One of the more high-profile incidents was in 1994, when the production was found guilty of contempt of court for making a joke about Ian and Kevin Maxwell, sons of the late Robert Maxwell.
He was a 68-year-old pensioner who thought that the whole of the money should go to him.
The Maxwells were, at the time, on trial for conspiracy to defraud. The BBC and the production company, Hat-Trick, were both fined £10,000 for the privilege of making a joke about them being heartless schemers. Later in the 90s, and Tory MP Rupert Allison tried to sue the show for libel, though the courts weren't on his side.
The Maxwell brothers now stand to lose everything, but they've promised that the Daily Mirror will still play an important part in their lives. They're going to use it to line their cardboard boxes underneath the arches at Waterloo Station.
Number 9. Backstage horrors. Gladiators.
And guarding those baskets are our own mean machines, Warrior, Hunter, and the awesome Shadow!
The endless injuries on Gladiators, while severe, weren't exactly scandalous in the way some of the things we eventually learnt about were.
Gladstone tackled by Warrior, but still stretches out to score!
Chief among its most salacious incidents were numerous gladiators getting in trouble with the law, notably Shadow and Warrior, real names Jefferson King and Michael Ahern.
You must wait for the starting whistle, or there will be a disqualification.
The former was booted off the show in 1994 when it turned out that he'd been taking performance enhancers, while the latter was sacked 3 years later after getting involved with an organised crime gang. Specifically, he was part of a complex scheme involving paying off an undercover officer to interfere with somebody else's trial.
He's lost his balance. 1 second on the clock, it's all over.
Number 8. Beth and Margaret. Brookside.
You know how I feel about you. It doesn't just end with me finding you attractive, liking your personality. I fancy you in the same way I fancied Peter Harrison.
This groundbreaking moment would hardly garner attention if it happened in Soapland today, but without it, who knows where LGBT representation on British TV would be.
Come here. I hate it when you go all sad on me. Everything's gonna be alright, you know.
In the mid-90s, Brookside, known for always pushing the envelope with what it dared to show before the watershed, aired this kiss between Beth Jordache and Margaret Clements, the culmination of a storyline where friends slowly became lovers. Despite a lot of public hand-wringing in the papers at the time, the episode got record viewership. Unfortunately, they were doomed. Anna Friel shortly after decided to leave the show, meaning that Beth was unceremoniously killed off.
Oh, I'm sorry. Don't be.
Number 7. Orange Man. Tango.
Oh, yes, we could be in for a quintessential tango taste sensation here.
This advert led to a full-blown moral panic in Blighty, and not for the last time. It follows a man opening a can of Tango, only for the action replay to represent the tanginess of the pop as being slapped by a man painted orange.
Sensation here. Why, yes, Tony, let's look again.
But the 90s and 2000s saw parents and teachers absolutely obsessed with happy slapping, and the idea that children up and down the country were doing it en masse. They thought that the advert would encourage this behaviour, and complained so much that it was taken off screens and replaced with alternate versions.
You know when you've been tangoed.
But slapping certainly isn't as dangerous as getting inside a concrete pipe and rolling down a hill. That advert was banned too. Number 6. Offensive content. The Word.
To give him a taste of stardom, we served him up a bowl of toenails fresh from the chiropodist and garnished it with a few corns and verrucas. Bon appetit, Simon.
If you've got a weak stomach, look away. The Word entertained a generation of teens and young adults for the first half of the decade, but it's not remembered for its music coverage, it's remembered for the hopefuls.
Welcome to the hopefuls, people who said they'd do anything to get on television.
Each episode, somebody would demonstrate just how desperate they were to be on television, usually by doing something abjectly revolting, taking a bath in horse manure, eating corns and warts, wearing somebody else's dentures, and, of course, snogging an old woman. Even today, TV rarely goes to these places, so to see someone behaving this disgustingly, you'll actually need to go onto the internet. We're not sure it's worth being famous if this is what you're famous for. Number 5. Cake. Brass eye.
You've heard what Bernard Manning said. Cake is a bisturbile, cranabolic amphetamide, which is a made-up psychoactive chemical.
More dangerous than Tango, this illicit substance had come over to the UK from Czechoslovakia in 1997, prompting hard-hitting journalist Chris Morris to devote an entire episode of Brass Eye to it.
They all fall on it like crazed animals, scoff the lot, and then lie around waiting for a DJ to play music which sounds like this.
Despite the absurdity of Cake, however, it managed to fool all of the celebrities tricked into joining the anti-Cake crusade, including alleged comedian Bernard Manning and then MP David Amos.
Have we asked anything about this in Parliament? I mean, no, we haven't.
The latter even asked a question about Cake in Parliament, getting well and truly tricked by the Brass Eye production, like many before and since. It's hard to feel too sorry for them though, when Morris literally tells them that it's a made-up substance.
If someone offers you cake, they might call it Looney Toad Quack.
Russell Dust. Chronic Basildon Donuts.
Joss Eklund's spunky backpack.
Number 4. Nicola Gill, blind date.
Well, Nicola, I have to say I've got more than a big surprise for you. Because I know what you're at. And I feel awfully deeply saddened by this.
After about 10 years on the air, Cosmopolitan decided to send a journalist undercover to find out how Blind Date works behind the scenes. Nicola Gill managed to get onto the show after the idea was suggested to her by her former editor at the Daily Star, but she took the idea with her when she moved to Cosmo and succeeded, going on a date with Paul.
You don't work as a temporary secretary. I know for a fact that you're an undercover journalist and you've robbed somebody of coming on a proper blind date. You work for Cosmopolitan magazine.
Sella infamously called her out on camera in 1997, revealing that the show had discovered she was a journalist and that she wasn't even single.
A journalist, ladies and gentlemen, not a blind date at all. Is that right? Yes. Is that right?
Are you being serious, Sella?
I am being serious, yes.
According to Gill herself, writing years later, however, Sella didn't want to do it this way and told Gill she'd gotten into an argument with the producers over it.
She's senior features writer, Nicola Gill of Cosmopolitan magazine.
Number 3. Richard Bacon, Blue Peter.
One of the Sunday newspapers reported that Richard Bacon, a Blue Peter presenter, had taken an illegal drug. Richard admits that he has done this and that he very much regrets it.
He made history in 1998 by becoming the first Blue Peter presenter to have his contract terminated mid-series. Why? Because the News of the World had published a story that they'd photographed him taking Class A substances. The paper also alleged that the substances were taken off the backs of the Blue Peter tortoises, which, according to Bacon, isn't true, though the rest is.
But there was also some sad news. You'll no doubt have heard that Richard is no longer on the programme.
Yes, he agrees he had to leave, and like you, we are really going to miss him.
His career wasn't particularly dented, and he even got his Blue Peter badge returned to him, though not until 2 decades later. He's still a regular on TV and radio, and has most recently founded a media company to produce television shows.
Do you remember Fred and Frida, the tortoises on Blue Peter?
Yeah.
Big white lines.
Well, he gave them Coke.
I didn't give any tortoises Coke, right?
Number 2. Haunting Hoax, Ghostwatch.
So, how destructive has the haunting actually been?
I kept on blaming us for breaking stuff.
We weren't doing anything.
Oh, I've lost track, really, I have.
This programme was so terrifying that allegedly it even led to somebody's death, as a viewer took his own life days later, citing in the note he left that he thought the banging pipes in the family home meant it was haunted.
Somebody thinks they've seen a presence in the house.
Today?
Yeah, you've not noticed anything this evening, have you?
No, nothing to report from here yet.
There was eventually a judicial review that said Ghostwatch had been too upsetting, wasn't clear enough that it was fiction, and had been broadcast too early in the evening. 2 people who watched it even reported post-traumatic stress, though not all medical professionals agreed with that.
Stop it! Stop it, Susie!
In the end, Ghostwatch and its fake haunting have never been rebroadcast on television, though it was released on video, DVD, and even on Blu-ray for its 30th anniversary.
Get away! Get off me! No! Go away! Mom, help me! Don't leave me, Mom!
Number 1. Martin and Diana, Panorama.
Well, there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded.
It was this 1995 Panorama episode that, years later, led to the end of Martin Bashir's journalistic career, when it finally came out that he'd attained his explosive interview with Princess Diana by deception. He presented Diana with doctored bank statements suggesting that her friends had been selling stories about her, which they hadn't.
What Martin Bashir wanted to share, according to Earl Spencer, was evidence that the Earl was being spied on. It got him a meeting at Altrap House.
The entire episode was also made almost in total secret from the BBC higher-ups, who made it clear to the royal family afterwards that they would have vetoed it, had they known. Bashir got some immortal soundbites from the Princess of Wales, but at the eventual cost to his reputation. Not to mention that it was another example of the horrific press intrusion Diana went through.
You really believe that a campaign was being waged against you?
Yes, I did, absolutely. Yeah.
Let us know in the comments which 1990s scandals we forgot to include.